Oh my god, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I haven't been here in like 5 months and I finally decided to film a video because I missed doing this. I really missed filming videos and just engaging with you guys, but life was just so crazy for the past year and especially in the last few months. I don't know where to start, but I just wanted to film this video and actually take you through the whole year, everything that I've been through, open up a little bit and yeah, just share what's been happening. In 2022 my goal is to be more active here, go back to my filming schedule that I had before and show you more of Australia and my life. So first of all, I just wanted to thank everyone for following me, still supporting me, even though I wasn't posting here as much as I used to. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you. I know it was a tough year for everyone. It was absolutely crazy. We thought 2020 was crazy, but then I think this 2021 hit us even harder. I was kind of prepared for the end of this craziness, and then we were like, oh, next year will be better, next year will be better, and then 2021 happened and we're like, oops, it's not better. But anyway, I really hope that 2022 will bring that happiness, health, family gatherings back, just spending time with your loved ones and just doing what we used to do and things that we love to do in peace. That's all I wish for people. So what I wanted to do in this video, I wanted to take you through my whole 2021. A lot of you know through my Instagram that I've been moving around a lot, and that's because of Joey's work. So I wanted to actually go through each city, talk about each city a little bit and just share with you my whole year. Where do I even start here? Okay. It was... Okay, so let's start with the first move. That was in 2020. It was in September. We were living in Melbourne at the time with Joey's family, and Melbourne was in stage 4 lockdown. I actually remember filming something about stage 4 and the rules, because a lot of people asked me about rules in Melbourne, because obviously every country in the world was different at the time. So in Melbourne we were in stage 4 lockdown, which was really hard. We had to stay in 5-kilometer radius. No one was working. I mean, everyone was working from home. It was still really scary. I remember just not feeling right. And then Joey's work happened, and then he got promoted, and then we moved to Brisbane, and that was 20th of September 2020. I'll attach a pic. And I remember as soon as we found out, I remember just feeling so happy and calm about it. It was first a shock because you're like, oh my god, it's lockdown, stage 4, what am I going to do with my life? How is this going to be? How am I going to move? Like, this is not just pick up your suitcase, this is like full on move. You pick up everything you have and you move to another state, and every state was different with rules. So we eventually moved to Brisbane, packed everything. We had to do 2-week hotel quarantine there, which was actually not that bad. Like, I filmed actually a series. If you go back into my channel, I filmed a few videos about it. It wasn't bad, but like, it's not like the best, obviously. But in my head it was more, alright, I'm gonna stay in hotel 2 weeks, sacrifice, go through that, sacrifice 2 weeks, and then I'll be free, because Queensland at the time was totally free. Like, I don't think even there was masks on at the time. I don't even remember, but I know I lived like normal life. We went to the restaurant, we went anywhere we wanted to. And to be honest, I had a really good feeling about Brisbane from the start, and I was excited. And it was my favorite time of my life, maybe. I don't even know, like it's such a good city. People always say, oh, Brisbane's boring, you don't have anything to do there, like especially people from Melbourne, everyone says, oh, Brisbane's boring. But to me, Brisbane was just amazing. Like, I love Brisbane. Brisbane's my favorite city in Australia for now. And the whole experience there, first of all, I love Queensland weather. I know a lot of people say it's humid, it's very hot, but to me, Brisbane weather is the best weather for now in Australia, maybe. It's really warm. Yeah, it goes crazy when it's storming, but I prefer storm than like cold weather all the time, like in Melbourne. I don't know, Melbourne, I feel like it's so cold all the time. So the weather was amazing. We found an amazing apartment right in the city, literally, right on the water, literally. It was just like the whole experience. I met a new friend in Brisbane, Tana. You know her from my videos maybe, or Instagram, social media in general. So that was amazing. Met a new friend, really good friend. I had a really good job, and I kept doing, of course, to evolve, but I did find another job on the side, and that was a whole new experience. It wasn't my dream job, it wasn't something I would do for the rest of my life, but it was really, really, really good experience, and I learned so much. And yeah, I had a good job, and I had an amazing gym. Like, I swear this gym is the best gym I've ever been to. It's called Fit as Fuck. It's in Kangaroo Point in Brisbane, and we lived so close to all the restaurants and bars on the water where the bridge is. So Mr. Percival's was my daily, like a daily routine. That was amazing too, and just people are a little bit more chill. Then obviously you're close to Gold Coast, and we went there all the time. Then another big thing, we met another amazing friend. He's actually a priest in Croatian church, and the church was amazing. Every Sunday we used to go there. We loved it, absolutely loved Brisbane. Like, every time someone asks me about it, I just want to cry because I want to go back, and I'm obsessed with that city, obsessed. I can't wait. One day I said eventually we'll end up in Queensland, 100%. Like, I see myself there. What else? Yes, we also expanded to evolve in Queensland, so that was another amazing business opportunity. We had an event for one of our clients there. We had an influencer trip to Whitsundays. Oh my goodness, it was just so good. I can't even explain how good Queensland was. Even when it comes to lockdowns and stuff, at the time when we lived there, so from September 2020 till May 2021, we lived in Brisbane. We were supposed to be there for a longer time, but his work changed again and we had to move. So in those few months when we were there, there was literally almost no restrictions. We had lockdowns maybe like twice when I was there, and that was a 3-day lockdown, nothing crazy like in Victoria. And it was amazing. Life there was just so good at the time. And then when we left, I think things started to go down for Queensland a little bit when it comes to lockdowns and all the restrictions and stuff. But yeah, that was Queensland recap. That was like a quick Queensland overview, and my feelings about it are just so positive, and I feel so good about thinking back about Queensland and just our whole life at the time. I love that city. Yeah, in May, actually on 4th of May, we officially moved to Perth. Between moving, I actually stayed for a little bit in Melbourne. I think think so. Oh my god, it's so confusing because I moved to so many different places in 1 year. So when I think back, I'm like, oh, I can't even like think straight. It feels like a blur a little bit. Stayed, I think, in Melbourne for a little bit because of work. Obviously, Perth is on a totally different side of Australia, and the flight is like 4 or 5 hours, something like that. And it was a lot for me to travel often. For example, when I was in Queensland, in Brisbane, I used to travel to Melbourne a few times for work because it was easy, yeah. But now, being in Perth, that was like so far and actually expensive. It was like $500-600 for a flight up and back to be just doing that often, and it's a lot. Actually, I get jet lagged when I travel from Melbourne to Perth. Is that possible? Like, yes, there is time difference, but it's not a big time difference, and I still get jet lagged. I don't know how. Anyway, it's so far, so I wasn't traveling that much, and at the start I stayed in Melbourne, did some work with Darcy and to evolve, and then officially moved to Perth. I had to stay at home for 2 weeks because at the time Western Australia was a green zone, so they had no restrictions, no cases. But then Melbourne had cases, and it was again in lockdown at the time. So I moved to Perth. I had to stay for 2 weeks in ISO, but this time at home, not in the hotel. I had to do tests on the first day and on 11th day of ISO, and then obviously I was negative both times, so I could leave the house after 14 days. That's another experience. That Western Australia is on another level when it comes to restrictions, rules, and just like, it was crazy. I'll give you a quick story. So I moved to Perth. I don't know if I have any photos or videos of moving, but if I do, I'll attach it. When I moved, it was like a kind of like quick decision. I had to leave Melbourne because the border was closing, and if I left only half a day later, I would not be able to see Joey for like 3-4 months, and that was scary. So I quickly booked a flight online, packed and left in like 3 hours from Melbourne to Perth, because cases were going up in Melbourne, and Western Australia announced border closure to Victoria, and they said like all the residents in Western Australia, they have to return, and I returned quickly. So I had to isolate at home. I got a test on the first day. Then I was getting calls every day from Western Australia Health, or whatever they called. Are you alright? Do you have symptoms? Blah blah blah. Didn't have any symptoms. I was okay the whole time. Negative with every test. I've never been positive actually at all. It was Sunday, I remember that, and I was at home, of course, because I had to isolate, and I got a call, and I was like, oh, they're calling again, it's fine. Answered the call. They're like, hi, is this Petra? Blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah. Can we confirm your address? And I say the address, and they're like, okay. Can you please explain on what side of the building is your apartment? I explained where my apartment is, and she's like, okay. So can you please come out and just wave to us on the balcony so we know you're at home? I'm like, what? I get out on the balcony, and there is a police car. 2 police officers came to my house to see if I was home and isolating. That was just, I started laughing. I started laughing because it was such a strange feeling. I started laughing because it was something new. It was something that I've never experienced before. And it was just funny because like police is checking on me if I'm at home. Like, I get it, but I don't at the same time. It's so funny. And I'm on the balcony still on the phone. She's like, stay on the phone and just wave to us. And I'm like, it's so weird because we were not high. Our apartment was like 1st or 3rd floor, I can't remember, but it was like close. I could hear her on the street, and she's like, thank you so much, thank you for confirming your home, and just so you know, you have to get tested on 11th day, and then you're free on the 14th day if you're negative. Okay. Thank thank you, bye. And then I go inside and I started laughing, like it was so funny. Anyway, yes, that was the rules with Western Australia, but that's the only thing that was kind of rules. From then, I didn't even know COVID existed, to be honest. In Perth, there was only QR codes to check in, and like it was just like you live in this bubble. I feel like Perth was just a bubble where people just live in their own world, and no one knew about COVID. You hear it here and there, but nothing like major. And Victoria was like updates every day, breaking news, this, that, like it was crazy, like it was too much. In Perth, no stress. But then it was terrible when it comes to people coming in and out for the families. It was just, you could not get into Western Australia. Once the border is closed, that's closed. Like you can't get in. You need some special exemption or some, I don't know, crazy border declaration thing. I don't even know what it is. But that was really bad. But inside Western Australia and Perth, nothing. We went to restaurants, lived like nothing was happening, which was so confusing to me, going from Brisbane then to Melbourne, crazy, and then back to Perth, like normal. It plays with your mind a lot. And then for the first few weeks, actually, I stayed at home to set the whole apartment, because this apartment we got in Perth was unfurnished and I had to buy all the furniture and everything new. So set it all up, clean it all up. So it took me a few weeks to actually get it done. And to be honest, Perth was such a strange, I had a strange feeling about Perth. It wasn't like Brisbane when I found out and I was like, yay! No, Perth to me was, oh my god, no. First when I found out about it, and the first few weeks I just felt uncomfortable. I didn't feel like it was my home. It was such a weird city to me. Everything is different, people are different, everything. But then I actually started liking Perth because we had this amazing trip. We hired a van for our 3rd wedding anniversary. We hired this van and we traveled to the coast, Esperance, Lucky Bay. I'll attach a few images, and it was just the best trip ever. I love traveling in the van. You just park, you just fall asleep, you wake up in the morning, you just have this beautiful sunrise and sunset. It's just amazing. So we had that trip, and that changed my mind a little bit when it comes to Western Australia and Perth. And then on top of that, what made Perth better for me was my friends. I met a few new friends in Perth. They're Croatian, and actually her name is Petra, same like mine. So I met her and another few girls, and actually I liked Perth in the end. Once you meet few people and you have friends in Perth, it becomes actually good, because they will show you where the spots are. Because the city is so different to everything else in Australia, it's hard to find it on your own. So once you have that group, actually really cool restaurants, really cool bars, actually amazing weather. That's what I wanted to say. For example, if you don't like Queensland weather because it's humid, you will like Western Australian weather because it's so warm and dry. Just like it's not humid and you feel like you can breathe. I know a lot of people say about Queensland that they can't breathe in Queensland, but yes, that's the difference between Western Australia and Queensland then. And actually, yes, I liked Perth in the end, but we were there just for a short period of time. So what happened with his job, we were supposed to go from Perth to Sydney, but then Sydney at the time was in this big lockdown. It was like crazy for Sydney. Sydney was at the lowest at that point. So what we did, instead of going to Sydney into lockdown and working from home, we went back to Melbourne to be with our family at least and working from home at the same time, because Melbourne was again in lockdown when we moved back, and we were in lockdown for a month or so. I just did a lot of work with Darcy. Things reopened for Melbourne. Melbourne started kicking off. It was really good. I'm gonna attach few images because it was a really good period to evolve. And for our clients and for all the businesses we felt really bad for during the whole pandemic. And I mean, still it's a bit like unstable, but it's a lot better than what it was before. And yeah, we moved officially to Sydney. This is where I'm filming from on 15th of December. At the moment we are staying in our first apartment that we got just for a month to settle, to find our permanent apartment. I'd film a vlog of moving into our apartment in Glebe and just talk about just finding an apartment in Sydney in general, because it's a nightmare. First of all, it's so expensive, and that people are offering like the oldest apartments for so much money. It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like that. For example, in Brisbane was a lot of really good buildings for really good price. I don't know, but they had a pool, they had gyms in there, like it was like a hotel, and you could find something for $450 to $500 a week easy. But that's just something like amazing. I'm talking about like an amazing apartment in the city. With Melbourne, we lived with Joey's parents, so I don't know much about apartment. I just recently realized that Melbourne is actually good for apartment hunting too, because it's not that expensive at the moment, maybe because of COVID and everything. But in Sydney, it's ridiculous. It's just, oh, and Perth, I forgot about Perth. Perth is not bad. You can find good apartment, but it's a lot cheaper than Melbourne or Sydney. I don't remember that much Perth because Joey was looking more for the apartments than me. I was in Melbourne. I was more searching online. It was alright, but then Joey actually booked something. He went to inspections and stuff, so I can't remember that much. Our apartment was really nice, but it just didn't have like pool, gym. It was just an apartment building, like a normal apartment building, but it wasn't that good like Brisbane. I hope we'll stay in Sydney for a longer time, and that I hope that we won't move that much. This is still fresh for me. For us in general, we're lucky that in Sydney we have really good friends. So Joey's best man and all his family, everyone they live here. So it's easier for us when it comes to friends and stuff. We already have someone. Another positive thing about Sydney is that it's really close to Melbourne. I can just quickly jump on a flight, go back to Melbourne for work. And I feel like Sydney weather is a lot better than Melbourne's weather. For what I can see now, we've been here for 2 weeks. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and yes, this was my 2021 recap, and it was crazy year. Now looking back, it was bad, but it wasn't bad. There was really a lot of good experiences. I can't complain because Joey and I escaped half of these lockdowns. We were pretty lucky when it comes to moving, so every time lockdown somewhere happened, we quickly moved or something. Like, it was, from that side, we are really blessed. We're still really blessed to have a job during these crazy times. I know a lot of people struggled. I feel bad for everyone who went through really bad things. A lot of bad things happened to people that are close to us, so I really understand that, and it's really sad and heartbreaking to see people going through things like that in life. Everything will be better in 2022, and I keep praying to God every day. Please God, just get rid of COVID already and all these government things and just like rules and everything. I just really pray that this world becomes a better place next year. And yeah, bring it on Sydney, bring it on 2022, positive vibes, positive mindset, don't give up, keep pushing. A lot of good things will come from bad things. We all learned our lessons, we all learned a lot about life in the past 2 years, and I just wish you all the best. I wish you all a lot of health, happiness, love, success, and I hope in 2022 I will finally see my family, because I haven't been home in Croatia for 2 years now and I'm over it. I just really want to see my mom, my friends, my brother, my dad, my dog, and my business in Croatia. That's my biggest wish. I'll be 30 in January, so it's gonna be a big year. Thank you guys for your support always. This was my 2021 recap, and bring it on 2022.